Hello again. If you're new to this channel, which chances are you probably are. Hello, I'm Jobin. I'm a freelance artist. I do art for a living. Today's subject, I'm just kidding, anatomy. Which I know that anatomy is like the Baba Yaga of fundamentals. It's the fundamental that scares most artists. But unless you're going to med school to become a doctor, or you're trying to be the reincarnation of Kim Jong-un or Da Vinci, you don't need to have like the utmost complicated knowledge of anatomy. You just need the basics, which this video is going to be about. On a side note, I'm not a professional artist. I don't have a license to teach or anything. I just do this because it's fun and it's because why not, you know what I mean? I know how to draw better than the average person who has never picked a pen before, so I think I could help that person. So this video is just going to be my approach to how I learned anatomy. So yeah, let's just get that out of the way already. So the two methods that were presented to me when I was learning anatomy are the pillow method. That's what I called it. I don't know if that's a thing though, which is you turn the upper body into a pillow. And by that I mean like from the torso to the pelvis to simplify the upper body. And the second one is the square method, which is like you turn all the muscles into squares. And this one helps a lot because it helps you understand like shape from different perspectives and angles. But it's not the one that I used. So low-key, I'll show you the pillow method, which is actually so great. Like, not even trolling, it's gonna help you a lot. Like, actually, trust me. So the thing with anatomy is that you cannot study it without simplify it first, since it's so complicated. And the thing with drawing is that you cannot, most of the times you cannot study something without being able to draw it. So in this video, we're gonna simplify it to be at least able to draw a mannequin or like a simple body, and then we're gonna study that body. Example, the deltoid has 3 muscles: the interior, the lateral, and the posterior deltoid. It's so good to know these muscles, but at first you won't be able to draw these muscles in like different perspectives and different angles. So what you want to do is that you simplify these 3 muscles into one big shape, and then you do this to like all the muscles until you're at least able to draw the simplified shape into like the different angles. So let's say that you got your reference and you're trying to study the upper body, for example. The first thing that you want to do is that think about how to simplify the whole thing. Like, you don't even think about the anatomy first, you just think about how to simplify the reference. So what you do is that you turn the upper body, and by that I mean like from the torso to the pelvis, into a pillow, because it's gonna like, that's gonna make it like so much easier, trust me. And then you're gonna try to simplify the outer muscles, which is the hardest part, but like it's not as hard as you think. So for example, the arm that is like so complicated to draw, you can just simplify it into like 3 shapes, and they're all cylindrical, so like they're easy to draw. And if you're having trouble simplifying a muscle, you can always go to the reference and trace over the muscle to simplify it. Like, trace over the outline of it to make a shape that you can simplify and draw. You can always do that. So after simplifying your reference, it looks bad, I know, that's like part of it. What you want to do is go grab the upper body anatomy diagram, and what you want to do next is draw the muscles over the shapes. And I know this sounds like step 1, draw a circle, step 2, draw the Mona Lisa, and it's obviously not gonna look good in the first like 10 attempts or something, but this is how you train your muscle memory. So I don't know if you have ever tried doing any gesture drawing, but if you had, you know that the first thing you draw is the spine, because it's basically the balance of the human body. And the spine extends from the neck to the pelvis. So if you're drawing a gesture or like trying to study anatomy or anything, the most important part of the human body is from the pelvis to the torso, which is where the spine is located. So when you're trying to simplify the upper body to a pillow, you're gonna split the pillow into 3 parts, so you can bend it without breaking the spine. Now let's talk about the different shapes to use when simplifying the muscles. Let's take for example the arm, which you split into 3 big shapes. One for the deltoid, which the shape that you use looks like a shoulder pad, and for the biceps and triceps, and it's just like a cylinder. And for the forearm, it's like a cylinder but like a little bit of curves. And between the two cylinders, you use a ball, or you just keep a negative space, because that's where the joints are and that's where the bending happens. The legs have very different anatomy from the arms, but when you're simplifying them, they low-key have the same shapes. So you use just two big cylinders in one ball to use as a joint, or you keep the negative space. It's up to you. That's really about it when it comes to simplifying anatomy. These are the shapes that you use. You use the pillow for the upper body, and for the joints and muscles, you use cylinders. Now the tricky part is drawing these in different perspectives and angles. But for now, let's just keep it to basic poses, because our goal is not gesture drawing, it's learning anatomy. So once we do that, we can jump to complex poses in different perspectives, which I can make a video about that later. But until then, let's just learn basic anatomy and basic poses. So to summarize everything we did in this video, let's do one last big exercise. Let's take this pose for example. Again, what we're gonna do is take the reference, simplify it, do our shapes, and then go back to those shapes and draw the anatomy of each muscle into those shapes. And by the way, I used the boxes method here because I just wanted to show you that you can literally do this with any other method. It doesn't matter if it's the pillow method or like the boxes method. It depends on what you're comfortable with, but if you understand the fundamental of this is what matters. And by the way, please don't get frustrated when your drawings don't look as good. They obviously won't. It's your first time learning this. And even if it's not, anatomy is really complicated. So just give it some time, and with consistency, it's gonna get better. And if you have problems simplifying any muscle, you can always go and study it specifically. Let's say, for example, that you're still struggling with the arm. You can just go and draw as many arms as you can until you're actually good at simplifying the arm, and then you go back to doing this. And this is how it goes back and forth. And if you have problems with like the torso, you can draw as many pillows as you can until you're comfortable with that, and you do the same thing with like each muscle until you're good at simplifying them. So one thing I do in these types of studies is I give each muscle a different color within the shape to know where the muscle starts and ends. And even then, I'm still giving these muscles like a very basic shape. And if you're wondering where to get these anatomy references from, there are hella books like Anatomy for Sculptors, like Bridgman Constructive Anatomy. There are also YouTube channels like Proco, which I know you've heard of. So back to our exercise, this one's gonna give you a headache because you're gonna have to know where each muscle starts and ends, which is really hard. It's like the hardest part about all of this. So that's why it's best to study each muscle separated from the others until you're at least a little bit more knowledgeable on that muscle and how it works. And then you go do the same thing about like every other muscle. And then you're gonna be able to draw like a full human body. It's like Legos. You can still attempt this exercise because at least it's gonna help you with your shapes. So I would reckon with each muscle that you've learned, you go back to doing this lesson of drawing a full human body, and you're gonna struggle obviously with some muscles, and after then you go back to studying another muscle, and then it just goes like this, like back and forth, which is like, this is literally like really the best way that helped me learn anatomy. As for the head, I intentionally left it untouched because the head is like a little bit more complicated than any other muscle. Same thing with the hands, so I think I'm gonna make another video for these two separately. Like I'm gonna make a video for the head and another one for the hands, so no worries, I got you. And that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. It means the world to me. I hope you've learned one thing or two. Don't forget to follow me on my socials, and also if you want to support me more, you can check my Patreon, where you get access to videos earlier than everyone else, exclusive arts, and unedited time lapses, and also you can get the chance to win a free illustration once every month. So yeah, check it out. That's about it. See ya.